Hey everybody, I'm Jared Bendis, and this is Designing a Multimedia Center for Everyone. I'm at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio, where I'm Creative Director of New Media. The actual name of our center is the Samuel B. and Marion K. Freedman Center for Digital Libraries, Language Learning, and Multimedia Services. And yes, it's written on the door, big silver letters. We call it the Freedman Center. We have a mission, and the mission we have is to bring together in one place a variety of technological resources in order that these resources support and sustain learners and create new ways of teaching and learning. So that's our goal. But how we get there? Well, first of all, we're supported by our College of Arts and Sciences. The provost pays for some of it. The other is from through the library from the Freedman family, and they've actually been really, really good in providing us some endowments to make this happen. And they're actually been very, very supportive, and I can't thank them enough. They really made this happen. The center actually is run by a bunch of people. While I set the vision and a lot of the plans of it, the day-to-day operations is by Aaron and Justin. Aaron is the multimedia manager. He's the operations manager. And Justin is the language manager, and he really puts together the language resources for this lab. But who's it for? And our center is for faculty, staff, students. All they need is a case ID and a fine-free library account, which is actually more cantankerous than you might imagine. You can't come into the center if you have fines on your library card. We actually allow for academic and non-academic projects. We actually don't care what you do in the center. It's what we call a place to have fun while adhering to university policies on copyright ethics and fair use, which actually has not been as bad as the library fine thing. Now, here's the big challenge for us. Case is not an art school. It's an engineering and a humanities school. That's what we're known for. While there is a new gaming initiatives out of computer science, and they actually have a virtual laboratory, which is great, there really is no computer graphics being taught, and there's no multimedia. So imagine if you go to a school where they don't have anything that you really want to do that's related to this, and you had to start from scratch. Our goal is to raise the bar of multimedia on campus. For years, if you wanted to do something, you came to me, and we're trying to break that habit. So we started with digital images. We're moving to digital video. We're getting to animation, and then we'll get even beyond that. How do we support this? Is with multimedia classes. We do a lot of workshops. I do a lot of workshops. Video, imaging, and flash. These are the big ones for now. Academic courses. Last semester, we actually taught multimedia for our educators. It is a requirement for all education majors. It is actually part of their state requirements now. I teach that course, and because of that, we're also going to be offering multimedia for everyone. People wanted to get into multimedia for educators and art educators, and they wouldn't let them. And so a year from now, we should be offering that. So slowly but surely, we're getting somewhere with it. So I'm going to take you on a virtual tour of the center. You see a big stack of slides, they're mostly pictures. And I only want to show you, what do you do if you have to start from scratch? What do you put in a center? So first, and that's actually not the big silver sign, that's just over the door. Technologically, we have 38 PCs and 2 Macs. The logic behind this was I couldn't say no Macs because they would have crucified me, but if you're a Mac user, you own a Mac. And we were looking at people who really didn't have computers or who didn't own anything. So what we decided was the 2 Macs are big Macs. They're really good Macs. But the PCs are people who don't know anything. And we're trying to get people to come in the center and then graduate from it, maybe never use it again. You start in by coming to the transaction desk and getting a key. You can't actually use any of the computers without these little USB keys, which actually helps us monitor how usage is going. We have these language lab workstations where this is also our language lab, so students can come in and do some private work there. And at the language lab workstations, there's cameras, there's viewing stations, we have VCRs, DVD players. We have multi-person workstations where people can do collaborative work, but mostly it's been for group viewing. You'll see people coming to watch a movie together more so than you'll see people collaborating on a project at those stations. We have scanning and multimedia workstations. This little scanner is a Sidekick. Has anyone seen one of the little Sidekick scanners? Scans 30 pages a minute, double-sided. The students are constantly, faculty too, for articles, but the surprising one is students come in with their notes. And they've taken notes and they want to give them to their friends, so they come in quickly, scan their notes, and PDF them to each other. It's probably the most expensive piece of equipment in the center. For the most part, our equipment is prosumer, stuff you buy at Best Buy. We want everything to be friendly. We want everything to be that you could buy it yourself. except for this microfilm scanner, which has also been very popular. The microfilm scanner just scans right to PDF, and people they don't print their articles, they scan them, take them home with them. This has been very, very popular. But we have a medium format scanner. We have one of these. It's got a transparent media adapter. People bring in things like X-rays. The biology people heard about this. They bring in these little slice things. We don't even know what they are, but we help them scan them all the time. We have one medium format scanner. We have a bunch of flatbed scanners. One for durability, not necessarily speed. We'll be actually putting in new scanners soon that will go for speed instead of durability. Probably my favorite would be the 35 millimeter slide scanners. I bought these because I wanted them. They're 4,000 dpi Nikon slide scanners. They have digital ice and digital gem, scratch, dust, grain removal. 5 to 7 minutes a slide, but they're beautiful. Not very expensive. People who spend a lot of time in here go, how much are these? And we say $600. And you know what? If you're going to spend that much time with one, you might consider buying it. And that's kind of the goal here. Now, for AV workstations, we built what's called the Monolith. I hate rack-mounted equipment. I think when people see a rack mount, they just get nervous. They think, So we decided it was shelves, and you should have seen me fight with the architect about wanting to build shelves, well-ventilated shelves, which is actually a concern here. So everything you see here should look normal to a person. They should look in and go, I played with a VCR before. So what do we have is they come in and they either pick their video source or their audio source. Believe it or not, there's only 2 cables that go from our Monolith to each computer, and there's 4 of these. And there's 1 USB and 1 FireWire. All the digital conversion is done in the back. For video sources, we take pride in that you can capture anything in the center. We have a region-free DVD player. It's also a language center, so we want people to be able to access DVDs from anywhere. We have a world VCR, international VCR. Any format, any DVD you can bring in. MiniDV and Super VHS. MiniDV a lot. Laserdisc. We have 1 Laserdisc player. Not barely been used yet because I'm the only one with Laserdiscs. We will help you convert 8mm and 16mm film. 8mm, believe it or not, has become very popular. The one on the left, the 8mm player, is a friend of mine gave this to me. It actually has got a self-viewer. It projects onto its own little screen, so it's really a straight shot. 16mm has been trickier, but we've helped people do stuff from the 40s that we had legitimate reasons to make copies of. And it's always great when it's like academic, but we also help somebody take their father's high school football videos off a 16mm. We really don't care as long as it brings you in the center. We allow for 8mm video. We bought an 8mm video camera to help capture that. Our beta machine keeps breaking because we're buying them off of eBay. But if you've got a proprietary video source, we'll plug it in there for you. So we're actually working on doing that as well. Our audio sources, cassette tapes, not as used as often as the turntables are. We have 4 turntables. These things play 33s, 45s, 78s, forwards and backwards. They are used constantly. Actually, this has been probably the biggest sell to faculty members. You want to get a faculty member into your center, put a turntable in, let them digitize the records. Next thing you know, they're digitizing video. Again, just thought it would be fun to have turntables. But really, very, very useful. We actually had to go out and buy an open reel-to-reel player. And actually used it so much that it broke and we had to get it repaired already. Open reel-to-reel, turns out everyone's got stuff. Somebody actually came in with a radio broadcast, a local radio broadcast of our local news reporters at Martin Luther King's funeral. And it was that someone found in the back of a church. And it was just like, everyone's talking about this. So really interesting to be able to get there. It got to the point, though, that we needed more space, and we're more or less than a year old. We opened last July. So we actually, again, I was being sarcastic, but I said, hey, let's get rid of our closet, and we built an audio room out of our storage closet. So this is our little podcasting room where we have a little bit higher tech than most. But that's because we wanted to have multiple microphones in there. But the microphones are $50. And when people go, you mean I could buy this microphone for my desk? Yes. Everything we do, the software, the hardware, it's all within reach if they really want to spend time doing it. We deadened the room with the little foam things and a little crazy there, but they kind of like it. We actually, the eTrex tapes have not been used. Minidisc and microcassette and any proprietary audio source you can bring in, though. So if you have it, we'd like to say we can digitize it. We were stumped by some weird plastic record that we can't find a player for, and somebody brought in a custom burned record from like the 40s that won't fit on our turntable. We loan items for use in the library, though outside the center, some of it. We lend notebooks. So if people want to do just general research, they got to take a notebook and go. It's not an internet lab. That's all you get to do is multimedia and language learning. We have headphones with microphones if you're doing self-training. Like we have these audio things that you can do like for language learning or for listening. Remote controls depending on what you're doing. Surprisingly not used are the drawing tablets. I actually bought a couple of drawing tablets. No one ever checks them out unless we like try to inspire people. And they go, hey, that was cool. But we're going to keep pushing. Media readers of any sort, anything that you can think of. Cleaning supplies because you got to keep those scanner beds clean. Cables and adapters. We loan some things for outside of the library. And this has actually been probably another big motivation to get people in the center. The digital voice recorders. We just had to double our stock of these. People are taking these all the time. I wasn't a big fan of this at first. This wasn't my idea. GPS units. We're loaning out GPS units. We don't know what people are doing with them, but they do take them. We're also in the library, so we've got GIS services there. So this was sort of a tie-in. But, if it brings them in the center, we're happy. MiniDV camcorders, they're always out. And I made sure we got the cheapest equipment you can. Not because I don't want it to be broken, but I don't want anyone ever to come to the center for an upgrade. Well, my digital camcorder is worse than yours. We bought baseline MiniDV camcorders. These are starter camcorders. These are $250. And if people come for the 5th time, I go, maybe you should probably buy one. And they go, you mean I can afford this? That's why we gave Kodak digital cameras. Now, no one would ever go out and buy a Kodak digital camera, but if it's your first digital camera, people come in, they try it, they use it for a week, and then they come back and go, what should I buy? And they're thrilled by this. And we actually had to double the stock. Actually, we're going to go through and double all of our numbers this week. And, of course, 5 gigabyte flash drives. These 5 gigabyte flash drives are great if you leave your data at home. If you've got to bring a CD or DVD, you can put an entire DVD on this one 5 gigabyte flash drive. So we lend it out for a day in case you forgot to do something. Overall, what can you do in the center? Digitize audio and video, record and edit video, encode video for downloads or streaming, author CDs and DVDs, scan images, edit images, OCR documents, create animations, web pages, access learning resources, video conference, learn, explore, collaborate, and have fun. So what's next? Well, we almost had it ready for this, but my students have been working on the Freedman Center Half-Life 2 Deathmatch level. When we actually had a deathmatch night when the center was closed, and we put out some Half-Life stuff, and they had such a good time. I said, well, you want to model the center? And so these kids aren't modelers. They just work in the center. And all of a sudden, the center is built. The windows are double paned. They're shooting them out. That's why they double paned them. And one of the students had built this beautiful chair. I mean, this magnificent chair. And I go, that's the best. I go, you've never done any modeling before? And he goes, I can't wait to throw it. So, but we actually are going to be doing it a Second Life world creation because part of our initiative does involve some of the other academic projects. And so this has helped them go from playing deathmatch mode to what they don't realize is they're going to have to do this for a living. Our next step also is to move into basic 3D animation because we keep raising the bar. Faculty members come to me and they go, well, I do the video myself now because they have to do it all themselves. We teach and let them go. We don't do for them. So now that I'm doing the other things for them, now that they see me doing animations, they go, when are you going to teach me to do animations? We're pushing the envelope of our people, not the technology. Nothing we've shown you, you're going to go, that's technologically new. But imagine an audience that it is all new to them. So how do you slowly get them to this level? And it's a real challenge for them. So that's what we've been doing, and we're a year old. We just had a retreat, and I had to go through all this because we have big changes coming. We're trying to, again, push. So a few more years, I can show you some new good stuff. So thank you very much.